You can create all kinds of vector designs like this and modify them in all kinds of ways in Clip Studio Paint. First thing to do, just go to a layer and then down to new layer and vector layer. So you can create a vector layer. Now I'm going to add a curve to it. So just go down here to figure. It's not called curve or anything useful, but it's called figure. And I'm going to use the curve option. Now I've got subtool here, key panels here, window, just go for tool, subtool, tool property, brush size, subtool detail. I always like to have all of them accessible because I never know which one's going to give me the information I need. Be nice if they were all grouped into one, but however they're not. So what you can do, you can add a curve. And I'm just going to quickly drag out and I'm going to make a fairly decent curve there, and then just you can move it backwards and forwards and you've got your line. Now what you can do, you can go up to here to a tool called orientation. You've got object, subtool here, so object, and you can move it around if you want to do that. But also what you can do, brush size, you can add some brush size there. You can also add brush shape, change the settings here, go for that one. But there's a whole range of different brushes you've got there you can access, and of course more as well. But you can also change the colour. And I'm going to go for red. It's got red design there. Also what you can do if you want, you've got modes, you've got various things to distort, skew, so you can distort the design and much more that way as well. However, what you can also do is you can add some additional points. So just go down here to this tool, which is correct align. Not particularly most obvious name. However, control point. So you've got the control points, and see if I got there. I've only just got 2. That's it, 2 control points. And I of course can select those and move, change things. Oh, I'm using just alignment. Move control points. There's quite a few options, and this is the great thing about Clip Studio Paint. They really pile on the options. Also, I can resize my... Anyway, don't want that. What I want to do is add some control points. I'm just going to quickly go to add control point, and this is in the tool property. And then as you hover over the line, you can see what happens. You just get these points added there. Now you can't move them. You just can add. You have to go back. So I'm just going to quickly add some, and just access that a bit easier. Yep, I can access that. Now what you can do, go back to move control points. Now with move control points, you can move it and change it like that. So you can create some unusual designs that way. And of course you can drag it backwards and forwards. However, also you've got options here. What you can also do is you can change the brush. So again, go back to over here to the orientation, and you've got here with this selected now, I can go over here to the subtool detail. Lots of different names. Subtool detail, tool property, subtools. Yes. But what you can do, you can run through this. So you've got vector, obviously I've got the colour there, red already set, brush size. And I must admit, sometimes I can come to Clip Studio and I think, oh, I understand every single place where everything is. I still think, oh, where is that? It's tucked away in a weird setting. But what you can do, you can go to ink, you can change your opacity. No, I'm not going to do that. You've got blending modes, you've got a load of blending modes. We also got colour jitter. So I'm going to change brush tip colour. And I'm just going to change the hue. And as soon as I do that, you can see what happens. Get a load of colour there. You can also change saturation if you wish as well. But you've also got anti-aliasing, brush shape, not going to use those. Brush tip, you can modify things there, thickness, again, angle, brush density. You want to, that creates quite a nice little blurry effect. Got spraying effect, I don't want that, but stroke. It's there somewhere, gap. That's what I want. So you've got gap. So I can go there to the fix size, select that one, and then I can just quickly say, you know what, I really want it very intense. So I've got a lot of circles there. Obviously it makes it slightly slower maybe. However, once you've got that, what you can do, you can go over here to, again, correct align. And then you can move the points. So let's just find, trouble is always finding the points is quite often the thing. Now, quite often I go to add points, and you can see as you add points, you can add some more, move, right. It's going to let me do it. Yep. So I can still continue to move them. But they are quite hard to see actually sometimes because it's blue and it's always a bit tricky. If you can move that as well and move that and so on. So you can create a variety of different designs. But there's other options as well. Subtool up here. Again, this is another thing. So you can go to simplify vector line, just line width. So you've got a just line width. And what you can do, you go over here to tool property. There's a lot of tools. Like I say, you've got duplicated over here as well. So you've got here, say, thicken. Got 10 there. 100 would be even nicer, but it's got 10. What you can do, you can simply just brush stroke over that. And as you do that, what happens? You notice it gets, as it says, thickens or slightly wider. But you can create some really weird designs just by just doing that. And you can, of course, go to different places in the line. You can just go over there. As you can see, you can just do it a few times there. Just doesn't do it instantaneously. You have to do it just a few times. But also what you can do, you can always go to narrow as well. And you can reduce those down. So you can just say, oh, it's not the quickest. I have to say the response is not always instantaneous, but you can do that and you can see it just reduces it down a bit. And you've got other options as well. So once you've done that, of course, what you can do, go back to the orientation and you can move it around, this design. But you can also go to, because it's just a layer, vector layer, which you can still edit, of course, but you can go to layer and duplicate layer. And then you can move it. And you can rotate it, distort it. So you can distort that design and so on and so on. So you can create a whole range of different designs very quick. And you go back to mode. Let's just go for rotate. So I'll rotate that one instead. And you can see you can just reposition it, create all kinds of that one's not there. And again, move control point and so on. You can see you can do control points there. So you can just change things even for that one. And again, always go to layer and again, duplicate layer if you want to create another one. And then you can just move it again and so on and so on. Move the whole lot and you've got a real quite complex design of these lines. And of course you can change it in thousands of other ways. You can apply effects to it. You can go to filters, etc. Obviously if you convert it to a raster layer would help. But you can do a lot with this design and combine them as well, of course. So if you want to, you've got here layers and you can put blending modes as well. So you can change things. So maybe just go, you know what, I don't want that. I can go for difference. Maybe not. But you can always go for darken or lighten. So you can see you can create some very interesting combinations of colour designs just by changing the blending modes for these vector lines as well. Hope you found this tutorial of interest. Always adding new tutorials all the time. A like or dislike, always appreciated. Thank you much.